Well, thank you, and thank you for that lovely introduction. It was very generous and very kind of you, and it is my pleasure to be here with everyone on this beautiful spring day here in Sacramento, California. I hope wherever you are listening from that it is a beautiful day for you. And one of the things that I know about people who are like the folks who sign up for the boot camp experience is that you all want to be successful. I mean, you wouldn't put in this energy if you were not motivated and committed to your success. And so I'm already speaking to a group of people who are highly motivated to be productive and effective and successful in life. A definition that I'd like to give you of success, which has helped me over the years, is that success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. I'll say that again, that success is doing what you said you would do in life consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. A little later on, if you want me to, Sage, I can talk about what each of those things mean. But just at the beginning, when you hear that definition of success, maybe you can breathe a little sigh of relief, everybody. That maybe success is not about comparing myself to other people. Success is not about having to overnight hit it big, but that success is an inside job. Am I doing in life what I said I would do with clarity, focus, ease, and grace? And later on also, Sage, if you want, I can talk a little bit about being financially successful, which really goes along those lines as well.
I would love that. And I knew that I was going to be talking with you about this, Maria, today. And so I actually woke up early and I got my finances in order because I was energetically preparing for this conversation. And something that I've been saying that I was going to do for a few weeks now is get caught up with my bookkeeping, because here we are at the end of the telesummit and I've let a few things slip. And, it felt so good to revisit this definition, because I have an agreement with myself that I sit down once a week and I go through my finances and I write down all my income so that I'm tracking it, I'm paying attention to money, and just following through on my own word to myself felt so successful. So thank you for this definition, and I would love it if you could share with our audience a little bit more about how this applies to money.
Well, okay, let me do that. And one of the things about this too is that with this definition of success, we learn to be compassionate with ourselves, because everyone has times when they don't do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
They don't keep their word. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just part of the human condition. The thing that really makes people successful is when you recognize that you're not doing it, and then you just hop back on the wagon. It's just like being mindful. And when we're mindful in life, we'll see where we don't keep our word with ourselves. We'll be very compassionate and courageous and truthful, and simply start keeping our word again. But clarity, focus, ease, and grace. By clarity, in general, I mean becoming clear about what is meaningful to you, what is most important, what you really want to get out of life, and really taking the time to see what it is that your contribution is in life. Are you interested in being financially successful, in being a creator of beauty, in maybe being an adventurer, or being a successful business person, or being a contributor to your community? What is it that has the most meaning? By focus, I mean learning how to take all of your energy and focus it in life where it'll do the most good. So many times we have so much energy but it's wasted. It's diffuse. We don't put it where we really want to be putting it in life, and so we don't end up doing what we truly want to be doing. By ease, I mean learning how to take small, sweet steps in the direction of our goals and dreams, not over-promising, not making promises that are going to drive us or other people crazy, but just doing what we said we were going to do with as much ease as possible. And then by grace, I mean grace is the experience of what you might call unearned blessings. And the gateway to grace is gratitude. So therefore, learning how to be grateful for what's in front of us right here and now. So that's just an overall view of being successful. But if you look at it at a deeper level, being financially successful, it's doing what you said you would do consistently with money, with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So by this definition, the truth is it does not matter how much money you have. What matters is your relationship with this form of energy. And therefore, by this definition, Sage, I've worked with many, many people around the world now who are very wealthy, but before they worked with me, they were worried about their money. They were worried about losing it. They were worried. I remember one man saying to me, I don't like to tell people my last name because if people ask me, are you from that family, and it's a family that has a lot of money, and I say yes, he says, I think it changes the dynamic in our relationship. So by all of these definitions, those folks would not be financially successful. And then there are people who may not have a lot of money, but they're doing what they said they would do consistently with what money they have, with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And so automatically, they are financially successful. And that's why you've heard me say a few times, Sage, that you can be financially successful starting today. If there's something that you promise yourself you're going to do with money, and you do it with clarity, focus, ease, and grace.
This is so helpful, and I think about the times when I also have had my income increase, and I've seen that it's also when I am in integrity with money for myself, like when I'm doing what I said I would do. Like I said this morning, I got up, I wrote some checks to people I owed money to. I just got current with money, and I've noticed for myself when I do that, when I take those steps, I oftentimes also attract money.
Well, yes, and you could say that you attract money, and you could also say that you make yourself more available to opportunities to make money. So on one hand, we could say it's about attraction, and on the other hand, we could say it's about consciousness and waking up. Because when your mind is clear, when your heart is clear, when there's nothing hanging over your head, you can look around and see opportunities that may have always been there. But when you're carrying around a burden, like unfinished money business, for example, when you're carrying around that kind of a burden, it's hard for you to be present to those opportunities.
I like that explanation. It's so simple and it's so digestible. You really help us demystify this path of financial success for ourselves.
Well, I am glad that it's helpful because, the reason I got so interested in working with people and money is because of financial difficulties I had myself years ago. About 35 years ago now, I was the victim of a Ponzi scheme, much like one of the Bernie Madoff kinds of schemes, and I lost money. But the thing about it, that made it so difficult is when I was honest with myself, when I told the truth, I had this little voice of wisdom inside saying, the man is offering me something that sounds too good to be true. Mm-hmm. And of course, if it is too good to be, if it sounds that way, then it usually is. But I didn't listen to my voice of wisdom, and I gave him money, and I lost it. And it was a big wake-up call for me. And I figured if I didn't wake up to how I was using money, I'd end up having many, many, many stories like that of money that I'd lost or hadn't earned. And so that's why I decided to pick up, to wake up, having to do with my own consciousness. And then years later, here I'm teaching about it.
I think it's beautiful. And I think that a lot of us can relate to those times when we have so many ideas or so much going on in our lives that it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to sort of get behind or to not be in the practice of staying consistent. And so do you have any words of wisdom for ourselves in terms of being able to stay consistent, like you said, with the clarity and the focus?
Well, consistency is the first thing I'd say is start simply, start easily and simply. And to give you examples of what you can do to start to be financially successful even today. And the things I'm going to say, they don't sound very sexy. They don't sound very inspirational. As a matter of fact, they often sound the opposite because it represents trapped energy. But do something like this, okay? And I remember there was a man who said, I am going to track what I spend every day for the next 20 days. And he said, I'm going, and he kept a little notebook, and the listeners can try this out, the date, the item he bought, cash, check, or credit card, and he said, and how much it was, of course. And the most interesting part had to do with something that I teach, which is, am I leaking money right now, or am I spending it consciously? And leaking money is when money runs through your fingers, you don't get any enjoyment or any value from it whatsoever. Spending it consciously is you get enjoyment or value or a sense of meaning. He said, I did this for a few days, and I spent so much money. One of the places he said I found I spend money, which was really weird for me, is buying bottled water. He said, bottled water in some places is even more expensive than soda. And I would end up spending $3 to $5 a day on bottled water, and for myself at work or when I was running. He said, that's $150 a month. He said, do the math.
Right.
And he decided to go to a sports store. He bought one of those bottles that you can carry around and get filtered water and carry it with you. And he said, I ended up saving at least $75 to $100 a month. And he said, Maria, that's $1,200 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Totally.
I mean, really.
Absolutely. I highly recommend this exercise. It's really transformative and life-changing.
It is. And another woman decided she would track every penny she spent, Sage, and she ended up saying, you know what, I haven't had a good vacation in 5 years, and she had all kinds of, the kinds of weird reasons we give. I don't have good vacation karma, or I haven't attracted the right vacation. All that stuff that we say. But when she went through and tracked what she was spending, she said, I spend $7 a day on incidentals, cappuccino, croissants. She said $7 a day is $35 a week. It's $140 a month. I'm eating and drinking my vacation away at $7 a pop. And she ended up buying cappuccinos and croissants for herself on Mondays and Thursdays. But the other 3 days a week, Sage, she put this money in a vacation savings account with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And at the end of the year, I get a postcard from her from Hawaii. Beautiful palm trees on the beach.
Nice.
Her first fully paid-for vacation. That is financial success.
Yay. Beautiful.
So I hope I'm giving everyone just a simple tool. Start small, because the truth is that how you handle a dollar, how you handle a dollar, how conscious you are of where you're putting it, prepares you to handle $10, which prepares you to handle $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. Start small. What are you doing with your money every day? If you're tracking it with clarity, focus, ease, and grace, my promise to you is at the moment you do that, in that moment, you are being financially successful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well said. And so, Maria, with all of your years of working with people and helping people understand their money habits, you've seen so much. You understand the human condition and money very, very well. What would you say is the biggest obstacle that we face when becoming successful or financially successful?
Well, the biggest obstacle everyone faces when they start going for a goal or dream are the naturally occurring doubts and fears that come along with it. In my coaching program, as you know, I'm the founder and director of the Academy for Coaching Excellence, and we're an accredited ICF coach training program. One of the things that we teach people about a lot is something the Buddhists call monkey mind, which stands for that aspect of the mind that is always chattering at us as it swings from doubt to worry and back to doubt again. And every time we set out for a new goal or dream, every time we ask of ourselves to learn a new skill, this monkey mind comes up. A lot of neurophysiologists have located it primarily in the amygdala, which is a part in our brain, Sage, that is concerned with the fight, flight, or freeze response. And the bottom line is that every time you set out to do something new or different that's outside of an already existing habit pattern, this monkey mind is triggered. And you start thinking about how you're going to fail, it's not going to work, you start comparing yourself to others. And, the first thing to recognize is that if you have monkey mind, it could be that you're on the right track, not the wrong track. That when you have doubts and fears, it's a sign that you're up to something, that you're going beyond where you would normally stop yourself. So
good.
the first thing to
good
do
distinction. Good distinction.
Yeah, the most important thing, and this is why I love to train coaches who work with people. The most important thing is to see that these doubts and fears are normal. They're natural. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or your goal or your project.
That's so helpful to hear, and it's such a relief, right? Because I know for me, I was telling my friend last week, I'm like, I feel like sometimes I'm just kind of nervous and afraid, like a lot of the time. Like sometimes I almost feel like I live with a little bit of fear going on just a lot of the time. And she's like, well, Sage, you're really getting out there. You're playing a big game. Like maybe that's not a bad thing. And it was a relief to hear, that was okay.
Yes, it really, because, anyone, I travel now around the world, and I have to say that there has not been a person I have met who does not have monkey mind. If someone tells you that they don't have worries and doubts they're either fooling themselves or you or both. It's normal and natural. Now, the way to go through this, I call it trouble at the border. It's like it's at the border between your vision for what you want to do and then physical reality. There's like this border as you start taking action. And the most important thing is, first of all, to recognize monkey mind is normal. The second thing is take a small, sweet step. Don't overpromise when you're starting something new. Promise small things. Really try small, sweet steps.
I love that.
Really, well, because the smaller the promise, the less monkey mind you experience, especially when you're trying something new or different. And then the third thing in getting past the border, so we've got first recognize that monkey mind is normal. The second is take small, sweet steps. And the third thing I would say to anyone who wants to be successful is get support. Just like the friend you talked to, Sage, who said, listen, maybe some of these doubts and fears are normal. We all need the support of others. And that's one of the reasons I think that this program you have is so successful. People are getting supported. It's one of the reasons that I train coaches at the Academy for Coaching Excellence, because there's nothing that is more, rewarding than learning how to support people as they go through their private trouble at the border.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I just love that you're hitting on so many of our spiritual business boot camp declarations. And being that it's the last week of the event here, I just do want to remind you all to keep your declarations close to your heart as we transition out of being in this sort of safe sanctuary of this event. And, we'll do another one in the fall, and you can stay tuned for that. But some of the things that we really encourage our participants to do, Maria, is to stay out of overwhelm by pacing ourselves and, like you said, dreaming big but setting very small, achievable goals, and then increasing our income just one financial win at a time in a realistic and sustainable way. And, this is something that I really hear coming through you, too, as well, just this real grounded approach to our relationship with money. And I'm wondering if you can just say any more about how to navigate everything that we sort of go through in life in a way that also keeps us moving forward toward financial success, especially if we're new at being in business or we're starting a business.
Well, if you're new at a business, or if you're just starting a business, or let's say you have an existing business and you're looking at going off into a different sort of an area with your business, the most important thing really is, and I want to underline this and underscore it, is to get support. There's so many, and nowadays there are community resources out there for people. You can Google how to get support for your business. You can be with groups of friends and start a mastermind group, for example, where you meet with 5 or 6 other people and you allow yourself to share what it is you're going through, and then allow other people to contribute their viewpoint, their advice, their support to your project. So don't do it alone. When we do that, when we isolate, it's very, very difficult. The next thing is, if you want to make more money, ask yourself the question, what for? What is it that I want more money for? Be really clear about why it is you want to make more money. I'm not saying don't go for making more money, but when you're very clear, this is part of the clarity, focus, ease, and grace, when you're very clear about why it is you're doing what you're doing, what the meaning is for you, then you can use that as a guidepost. You can talk about it. You can let people in. You don't have to keep it a secret. And as you talk about it and gain support, it becomes even more and more real. The next thing is, especially when you're starting a business, realize that when you are starting something new, it is always going to take about 10 times more energy than you thought it would. And imagine a rocket ship lifting up from the launch pad. You know, a rocket ship burns 90% of its fuel in the first 3.5 minutes of takeoff. And so when you're starting a business, when you're in that takeoff phase, that lift-off phase, realize that it's going to take more time than you thought. It's going to take possibly more money. It may take more physical vitality than you thought. I mean, even printing up the first workshop flyer, or let's say getting your business cards printed up, it always takes, it's supposed to. That's the way it looks at the beginning. And the only difference between people who are successful and people who aren't is that people who are successful simply take small, sweet steps consistently. They're, with the exception of certain people that we read about, really, there is pretty much no such thing as overnight success. It always looks overnight. It always looks overnight.
I know, right?
Because you see people being wildly successful, and you imagine they started it last month. No, give up on that. They took small steps for months and sometimes years.
Yep, I know. My friend Anastasia, who is also a speaker on this summit, and I were joking about how, you know, we worked for 5 years to become an overnight success. You know, it's
exactly.
It's so true. It's so true. We have several appreciations on the Facebook page. Anastasia White says, so I really don't have to fight the monkey mind. I can just recognize it for what it is and envision what I'm working toward.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, I would say, Anastasia, wave at it.
Laugh at it.
Well, you know, laugh with it.
With it,
say,
yay.
You know, say to your monkey mind, thank you for sharing, and just keep going. It's normal. It's natural. All is well.
Awesome. Yep. So true. Yeah, Galena, Rebecca, we have several comments about the monkey mind and appreciations for your definitions and your clarity. So for those of you that are interested in Maria's coaching program, that website is at academyforcoachingexcellence.com. She's an incredible coach, an incredible trainer herself. Again, that's academyforcoachingexcellence.com, and that's all spelled out. And that will be on our website along with the link to Maria's, it says here Maria's gift, but what it really is a link to her Energy of Money website. And
yes, there's a website called theenergyofmoney.net, theenergyofmoney.net. And
yes,
if people click onto that website and click onto this place called Resources,
yes,
website, they will get a free, it's called a Life's Intentions Inventory, that will help you become very clear about what is important to you in life. So theenergyofmoney.net, click on Resources. You'll also see there my DVD called The Energy of Money. But click on the resources and print out the Life's Intentions Inventory. Take it, share it with your friends, get their support, and you're on your way.
Nice, perfect. And we do have a link to that page on our website. And then you do need to just click on Resources in order to get the Life Intentions Inventory. Thank you so much, Maria. for that. I'm definitely going to take advantage of that myself. And I'm curious, one of the things that you helped me with so much just in our last few minutes here was with your definition of promoting ourselves. One of the things I was really struggling with when I heard you speak was this idea of putting myself out there and promoting myself, and sometimes feeling like it was difficult to find an authentic way to do so, and sometimes I felt like I didn't want to be coming off as pushy. And you gave this beautiful visual of like the appetizer tray. Would you be willing to share that with us?
Oh, I'd be thrilled to. Think of, first of all, we need to take our minds off of ourselves. So we're not necessarily promoting ourselves.
Right.
Okay? What we're doing is imagining that we have this hors d'oeuvre tray of these very tasty hors d'oeuvres, and it's in the form of maybe a service we provide or a product that we want to sell. But we're passing the hors d'oeuvre tray. We talk about what's on this tray, and we invite people to sample the tray if they wish. But if they say, no, I'm not interested, it means not at this time. It's not a rejection of us. It's not something that we have to hang our heads and go and, sit in the closet for the next 48 hours. It's really them saying, it's just really them saying, no, right now I don't think I want any of those hors d'oeuvres. But if we take our mind off ourselves and we cut out of our vocabulary promoting myself, take it out of my vocabulary, because I'm not promoting myself, I am offering people the opportunity to buy a service or a product that will enhance their life. And really, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the service or product. I am confident that the service I provide will enhance their lives. I am confident that the product I want to offer will enhance their lives. I'm not cutting corners. I'm being truthful. I'm doing the best I can do in terms of my service and my product. That's all I need to know. And so, really, for all of us, please, don't even think of promoting yourself. The minute you do, your monkey mind is going to go crazy. And it's not even, really, and it's not even about promoting yourself, is it? It's about offering your service or your product. I hope this helps folks.
That's such a good distinction, Maria. I'm feeling the shift myself. I really appreciate it.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Absolutely. Totally. And so this sampler plate that you had me visualize was so, it just helped me to think about this idea that, you asked me if you were a caterer and you had all of these appetizers that you had prepared that were like delicious and lovely, would you really not want to put them on the tray and walk them through the party,
Exactly. And there will be some people who want to take what's on the tray. There'll be some people who don't. But, the next thing that you're pointing to is absolutely correct. What you want to do is keep passing the tray.
Beautiful.
And make sure that you know how to describe the ingredients. And by that we mean what will be the benefit of the service, what will be the benefit of the product. Be very, very clear, and let people see if it's something that will be useful for them.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you can share with us, Maria, in terms of some of the wisdom that comes through your book? There's several women right now commenting on your book that your book really changed their life. And then some of the women here haven't read your book. And so I'd love to just get, a quick few intentions, sentiments that you have, because it certainly was a book that shifted the way I think about money.
Okay, so I take it you're referring to the Energy of Money book.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because there are really two books. One is called The Energy of Money. The other is called Mastering Life's Energies, which came out a few years later. The Energy of Money book. In this book, you will be guided through specific exercises that help you strengthen your relationship with the energy of money. The thing to remember about that is the following, that money is a form of energy. It's neither good nor bad, right or wrong. It's neither spiritual or non-spiritual. It's simply energy. And the question is, what are you going to be using this energy for? You know, like with the energy of electricity, Sage, you can use it to light up a room, or you can, if you put your finger in a light socket, you'll shock yourself. But it's all the same energy. So when you become clear about how you want to use it, you can become what I call in that book a conscious conduit of energy, meaning a conduit is simply a way to bring energy in an organized fashion from one place to another, like a water pipe. If you clear up your money sludge, which is incomplete money business, you clear up your money leaks, and we talked about that a little earlier, and then you craft specific money goals, the energy of money can run through your conduit without being obstructed in any way, and you have an easier time to achieve your goals. So the Energy of Money, that book, is designed specifically to help you clear away the leaks and sludge, set goals, and go beyond your monkey mind. And that's what that's all about. The Mastering Life's Energies book takes it in a little different place and talks about how to live life in general with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So people like both books for different reasons. The Energy of Money will give you incredible exercises to wake you up. The Mastering Life's Energies book will inspire you. You can read it, 15 minutes at a time for daily inspiration.
Thank you. It was one of those books for me that was like an energetic shift. Like I would notice myself sort of walking through my daily activities a little bit differently after reading the book. Some books are more of just like a read, and some books really are providing this energetic shift, and I so appreciated that book for that reason. So thank you for birthing it and for bringing it into its life to impact and affect so many of us.
Well, thank you for using it.
You are so welcome. All right, we have Margaret Katz here, really appreciating you for your rocket metaphor. She says, what a relief that
good.
Is normal, right? What's wrong with me? Why is it taking me so much energy? And I do want to just really emphasize that has been both my experience and my clients' experience and my colleagues' experience, that those first year or two of business, really, it does take you're really creating something from nothing. When we think about birthing a business, this event was planned around 9 weeks of literally birthing a business idea. And so for those of you that have been really diving in and soaking this thing up, what we've been hearing from you is that you are at that place where your idea is really more solidified in you, and now it's time to really move forward and start to actually do what you say you're going to do about building the business. But there is this incredible energy output in the beginning because you literally are creating something from nothing. And I promise you it does get easier. It really does. Maria, any words of closing for us?
Well, yeah, the only thing I would say is allow yourself to entertain the possibility that all is well.
Yeah.
And that really all of you who are listening in and striving to do something that you know in your heart will make a difference. just know that you're not alone, and that everyone experiences difficulties, everyone experiences great times, and just when you think you've got your whole everything, then you hit the next obstacle. It's supposed to look like this. You're not alone, and you know, if you were to allow yourself to do what we're talking about with clarity, focus, ease, and grace, you will experience what Willa Cather calls miracles. And you know, she was a great author. She wrote "Death Comes for the Archbishop," among other books, and her definition of miracles is that miracles rest not so much upon healing power coming suddenly near us from afar, but upon our perceptions being made finer, so that for the moment our eyes can see and our ears can hear what has been there around us always. And that's what clarity, focus, ease, and grace is all about. The final thing is this: if you want to experience grace in your life, practice finding 3 things for which you are grateful and write them down in a little notebook by the side of your bed every night. And after about 10 or 20 nights, look at what you've written, and you will see the hand of grace in your life. It starts with being grateful for what you have right here and now. Just like I'm so grateful for being able to speak with you today, Sage. This was a wonderful time to spend with you.
I am immensely grateful as well.